Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. It is day 59 of the pandemic, and I believe it's day 32 of David Icke's war against 5G, and the folks in the UK are definitely winning the fight for burning down the 5G towers, but I think that's just about at an end. I think everyone's had their fun. Anyways, today we're talking about Google expects its staff to work from home until 2021, and it is not alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sick of this virus. I would be so happy if it just fricked off. I would be so happy if I could go back thrifting again. According to Bloomberg report, someone or other, Google CEO, said that Google employees are going to be working through October and possibly through the end of the year. Actually, Google spokeswoman said the Google workers are expected to work from home until 2021. Lucky them, they make programming, they make code, they don't actually have to be there. I'm not saying they don't make anything, but they don't make anything physical, so they don't physically have to be there. And while perhaps their work is necessary for the internet to keep going, if you don't need to be out and about, then you probably shouldn't be. And while we will all survive the coronavirus, the older people that we love will not, and that is the concern. We're not doing this for us, we're doing it for other people. Maybe that's part of the problem, because we've got a lot of people who are just hungry ghosts in North America who are just thinking about themselves, unfortunately. Oh well, it's not just Google. Facebook has also told its staffers that most of them will continue to work from home through to the end of the year. Man, could you imagine working at home all the time? Your wife, a lot of people would, their relationships would just instantly end. Man, I'll tell you what, there's so many people who are just together because they work as a team or something like that, and all they frickin' do is work. They just work and they work and they work, and that is it. But if they had to work from home, I think there'd be a lot more divorces. I definitely do. Anyway, some businesses are exploring reopening their offices and asking their employees to continue to work from home part of the week by reducing the number of staffers that work at any time. One of them will be able to maintain social distancing in the office. So there's a lot of people that think that this isn't really quite a big deal, that this isn't, we shouldn't worry about it. But when crunching the numbers, the only thing that seems to come close to this one is the Hong Kong flu, which killed 1 million to 2 million people, and this, what we have right now, the COVID, has killed almost 300,000. So we're getting up there in 50 days. I asked the virologist. If like clinical virologist. He just so happens to be my doctor for another thing. And he said, when I asked him, is this equal to what we've had in the past, not including Spanish influenza, is this equal to what happened back then? And he said, you know what, we don't know. There's only a 1 to 2% mortality rate. He said we won't know until it's over if this is if this was worthwhile, or if this quarantine stuff was as good as we hoped it would be. We have to wait until it's over, then we can compare ourselves to other folks who did not quarantine. And he said there's something very particular about this specific virus, is that there's nothing quite like it. There's no herd immunity at all, because no one has any vaccinations for this. There's no antibody that's anything like it. There's just nobody who's prepared for this kind of stuff. Now, okay, get this. So one of the big reasons that when the Europeans came to North America, they wiped everybody out, was because the Europeans that came over were lower class people, you might be able to say, on ships that weren't the cleanest things, and they lived with animals, and because of that, stuff went back and forth. You see, they didn't have animals that they herded. The Aboriginals, they didn't live with animals as closely as we did, so we got used to this stuff, and we carried it on us because we were so filthy, or at least a lot of the people on those ships interacting were actually just really filthy people. Didn't take showers, face, they didn't have showers. They passed the stuff on that they got from living so close to the animals on and just wiped out scores of people. There's okay, so take this for example. In the rainforest, people that first found the individuals in the rainforest, they passed on polio. I think it was polio or something like that. And they said there's so many people in these rainforests. It's amazing how many people there are. And then they went home. And another explorer came, and they didn't find anything. They didn't find a single person more. Or they might have found a few people, but they did not find these all kinds of people, these giant cities everywhere. They did not find these things, and it's a lot of people are believing now it's because the first people who visited introduced stuff that just wiped out the entire populations. These individuals who were farmers, but not herdsmen, for example. So we get situations where we have bad wet meat markets in China, like bad ones. Like, not all wet meat markets are bad. Sometimes they're called wet because of the ice, I'm told. But there are some really messed up ones, or it leaked out of an office, right? One or the other. Either way, from either funding these viruses, which I totally doubt, and making these things more powerful, or by putting so many animals in the same area that their blood, feces, spit, and pee combines, and the animals are clean right on top of that, basically. And these situations do happen, man. I can't even say it's like the worst out in China, because I bet I could find someone around me that would do something just as stupid as that. Then you get these exotic ones, these very specific ones that maybe aren't so clean as they could be, and man, that just wipes us out. But there's nothing like this one. So we're all like the frickin' natives in this one. We don't have the immunity just yet. Nobody has the immunity. We have not seen anything like this before. And okay, get this. So if we had seen something like this before, if this did come out of a lab, I wonder if the lab would have an antibody or something ready to fight it. Or maybe they would already have this. Well, anyways, that's just my meandering thoughts. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, stay home if you can. And we'll get through this as best we can, and we'll only see at the end of it how much different we did than the people who didn't quarantine. But the price of the gamble is our weak and our old. And if we don't look out for our weak and our old, then we're frickin' bad human beings. We're frickin' bad human beings. And we are these Satanists that these globalists that the conspiracy theorists talk about all the time. If you don't care about your fellow man, regardless of a skin color, and I'm not even talking about like if you hate black people, but if you're white and you hate white people, then you got to smarten up, especially in this situation, because we can't be like that anymore. This is past the time. We got to be there for each other, and we got to take care of each other, all of us. Maybe we're all we got. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Always appreciate it. Thanks for listening to me. Have a good one, folks. Remember, take care of each other.